proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I was at a press conference earlier today with different legislators urging Attorney General Cuccinelli to reconsider his position on a lawsuit against the federal government over whether the EPA has the authority to regulate sources of carbon dioxide as a pollutant. Mr. Speaker, I'd say to the body there are plenty of reasons to be upset about federal overreach, but their efforts to control pollution should not be one of them. At a time when the federal government is trying to do everything from establish standards for our local schools to dictating how our fishing licenses are written, there are very legitimate reasons to be concerned about federal overreach and better places to file suit. But, Mr. Speaker, it is an established fact that the Earth is warming, that our climate is changing. If you go back and look at the records of the Virginia Department of Health, you can see the water temperatures over the past 30 years in the Chesapeake Bay. The water temperatures have been rising. If you look at the average bloom time for forsythia or daffodils or for any native plant, you can see that they are getting earlier. If you look at migration times for birds, you can see that they are getting later in the fall. Now, despite the fact that some scientists have said some very stupid things, it's all but an established fact that man's activities have contributed to such warming. And as a Christian, Mr. Speaker, I would say that if a televangelist is an adulterer, it doesn't negate all of the good news of the Bible. It doesn't negate all of Christianity. Quite simply, as we release carbon that was sequestered over hundreds of millions of years, we are returning the Earth to its previous, earlier, higher temperature. And for the Attorney General to argue anything else is simply taking a knife to an intellectual gunfight and a waste of the taxpayer money. Mr. Speaker, the reason the EPA's role is appropriate is because of something known as the tragedy of the commons. It's because we make rational economic decisions. As a capitalist, I believe that the most effective delivery for goods and services is the free market. However, because the resource of our air and water are held in trust for the benefit of all, natural resource protection follows a different set of economic rules. The tragedy of the commons refers to the land tenure in England in the Middle Ages when herders of sheep shared a common parcel of land. And it was in each herder's interest to put another sheep onto the land, even if it exceeded the carrying capacity of that land. The herders all received the benefits from each additional sheep, while the damage to the common land is shared by the entire group of shepherds. In cases such as this, the role of government regulation is appropriate because, unlike private industry, we can't have a desirable outcome if we all act in our own best interest. In conclusion, I look forward to working with the Attorney General to stop legitimate federal overreach, but hope that in the meantime he suspends his frivolous action. I thank the body for its time.